come back against that total running game clock, everybody. Only 2 minutes left here
He,
in the 3-minute portion.
yeah. I'm trying to think of where he could have improved last game. Maybe you keep both rooks on the board. Maybe you play b5 earlier.
Right,
But he allowed Magnus to get the optimal setup with
right.
his like bishop queen
Or maybe you were
and
right.
rook.
Maybe he should have played g3 and h4 earlier. Stop black from playing g3, h5 and h4, right?
It's possible.
Put the king on g2, but it's hard to say because it's
Yeah, very hard to say.
minimal winning chances and the kind of game where, you know what, you hate to say it, but it's the kind of game that maybe Magnus wins as white and not a lot of other people do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another
I
dragon.
like these positions for white, by the way. The bishop pair, I'm not very like I don't know, h4, h5. It's
Yep.
black doesn't get the dragon attack in these lines. You can
No,
even play b3 sometimes.
as a former dragon addict, I guess you can never say former addict, always recovering. As a dragon addict, I can say I also love white in these positions.
Yeah, no, this
It's
is
just so straightforward for white. And again, black is playing this because of the match scenario. Everybody, you get the inherent dynamic of the kings on opposite sides of the board. You're always creating more winning chances really for both sides. But the truth is, Eric and I feel that way despite all the dragon lovers out there because these positions are just good for white. They really are, and they're usually very straightforward. Here you have ideas like knight b3, knight d5. Because white is not playing these positions to get some sort of all-out race. White's going to look for the chance to simplify, and white is usually positionally better as the pieces come off the board.
yeah, this light squared bishop is often a bad piece or doesn't really play a big role in the attack as long as that knight on c3 stays.
It's official. This will be the last classical game of the 3-minute portion. Chess 960 will be right around the corner. And, okay, well, despite our belief and criticism of the dragon, we've said it's sort of the match situation. Hikaru trying to create winning chances.
So I guess what's the threat? Is it knight e5 right now?
Or
Because of
even any knight move followed by rook takes c3.
Right.
Because if you eliminate this knight, then a2 falls.
Well,
So,
if knight takes
I don't think
d4
Magnus
if
is taking his time because he's worried. I think he's considering
Yeah.
knight b3 or knight d5.
Sorry, if knight b3 is okay, knight d5.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm always biased to knight d5. It's probably not even one of the computer's top choices there, but it's such an easy positional grind now for white, and also eliminates all the dangers of a mating net.
So bishop takes d5, right?
Right? You can just take
No, bishop takes d5. There's knight takes c6 and knight takes e7.
with intermezzo, yeah.
Oh no,
Knight
no, no.
check.
Bishop takes c5, knight takes c6. There's queen takes a2. My bad. So bishop takes d5.
Okay, so you can take a5 first, and then knight
Take
takes
on e5
a5
first, and it just turns into as you
take
said,
on d5, knight c4, bishop c1. You've got this e file and a Marco hop structure. White's just positionally better. Yeah, he'll take on a5, take on d5. Here comes bishop c1. Exactly what we thought. And okay, but knight.
Where do you put the knight? Knight e2, knight b3.
Even knight b3, because you have knight a5 ideas in some positions, and then like b3 and c4, and you kind of launch the queenside pawn majority.
If he can get in c4, I think Magnus is doing quite well. As is, he's still doing well anyways because black doesn't have anything to attack. What do you do? Rook c7 here? Okay.
Ooh, that's aggressive counterplay. That's him trying to not let the position be.
So he's saying after knight a5, rook c5, knight b7,
The knight's going to be
can even
trapped.
sacrifice.
That's what he's trying to say. Maybe he has rook
No,
b5 and the knight's...
the knight's not trapped, but he's winning the center pawn for the cost of 2 queenside pawns, and he might have a bit of an attack. Unless you actually, you're right. Are you saying that after knight b7, there's rook b5?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Okay.
And then because if b3, knight a4, and here comes knight c3.
And Magnus has already trapped his knight once on the queen side, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well then this is a this is a good choice by Naka.
Yeah.
He managed to activate his pieces.
No, and he proved me wrong because I was just about to highlight a positional point that usually e7 is a bigger weakness than d5, and that's kind of why this structure favors white everybody. But
there we go. Well, if black can maintain the pawn on b5, he's doing well because that controls those 3 pawns on the queen side, and in the meantime, he's going to bring his king in and try to get this e pawn rolling, this e5, e6, sorry, e5, e4 passed pawn. So if he keeps that pawn on b5, Hikaru is doing quite well. Right now, I like his position a lot, Danny. And a win with black
he transitioned
critical
effectively out of that.
He transitioned. Okay, yeah, that's for a dragon. This is This is nice.
Okay, if bishop g5, king f7, and then if you're white, you play moves like rook d1 here. Maybe try to get the knight to d4. The knight on b3 served its purpose. Now it's just in your way. You need to get it to a square where it can either target the b5 pawn or... Okay, this is a nice move, though. I like this threat of rook b4. And Hikaru says no thank you.
Trade it. Take it.
Yeah, for sure.
D5 or E5 here? Or king f7? King f7 probably. But then rook h4, it might be a little... No, rook h4, e5. I want to play e5 and rush my king to e6. That's ideal. I like black's position a lot here. I think this is really, really unpleasant to play in blitz. It's so much easier. Oh,
that's interesting.
Maybe I just missed something as usual. Knight takes a3, king b2, the knight's trapped.
So Hikaru just has to straight up give up the d6 pawn.
He has knight a5. He has knight a5, and he can hope to take on c3 and b3.
What's funny about knight a5 is maybe white just plays king b2. Right? Knight a5, just guard both pawns.
d5, rook. Well, he's doing it anyway. He has to because that knight would be trapped.
Yeah, if king b2, white can then go back to work on the b5 pawn with rook b4. So yeah, I like this. Okay, but time is really one of the factors here for Magnus. He's already under time pressure.
A4, what are we missing here? I mean, this is Hikaru losing what, to me, I think at first is a good endgame for black.
I think you're absolutely right. I think he just blundered b3.
And this is really, really bad.
And he's shaking his head in frustration because
for him to mess that up.
And where did the wheels fully come off? We back up the position here to king f7. He should have played e5 or d5 right away, eliminate the threat there, and been better.
Yeah, or even a move like rook c6. Anything actually. Rook c6 first.
Guard d6.
Looks solid.
Yeah, I like it because it leaves the d5 square open for the knight. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, super frustrating because this is the kind of games you have to convert on, and
Magnus preparing to play push the pawns. King b5.
Yeah.
What we need is to zoom in on the Naka fans in the crowd like they do in some arenas.
Yeah. In our future esports arena for chess, we will zoom in on the heartbroken faces of the fans and the elated faces of the fans of the person who's winning. But seriously, it's just you don't get enough good positions against Magnus to afford losing the few ones that are winning.
C7.
And not to say you should ever do that against anybody, but you just it's really really tough. He's managed to create a pretend blockade here, and I say pretend because it's...
Yeah, he's got too many loose pawns all over the place.
Here comes king a6. The bishop on e1 will improve itself.
King can go to a7, and you're just stuck.
I think that's key. Yeah, the king comes to a7. The knight is frozen. Okay, so...
Do you play king a8 here, by the way? If you want to get out of dodge, like no checks?
No
okay,
b5.
c4.
He just wants to get bishop c3 next. Bishop c3, there's... Okay, or taking.
Or
that also works, overloading the knight and creating another pass pawn, and that might even be enough for Hikaru to throw in the towel, to be honest. I mean, that's a heartbreaker right there.
So yeah, if g4, trying to create the f3 pass pawn.
e5, right?
e5, knight b7.
e6.
e6.
It's just too fast.
It's too fast. Yep. I would try that anyways, though.
Too fast.
I would play g4 just to make a move. And if e5, knight b7, e6, f3, e7, I play king d7.
King a8, very nice. Ooh, look at that little trick. It's a bluff, but still got my juices flowing. Okay, but now it's just over.
Yeah.
Too many pawns. Not enough time. Story of Hikaru's life here against Magnus Carlsen. We are headed into Chess 960 right after this. And Okay, Hikaru made it a little closer than we thought it was going to be. I mean, he's going to get a queen.
It was the only. There was no way to stop this idea, I think. But Magnus will have a piece and a pawn.
Right.
And I think he can set up a mate here,
actually,
Danny.
Yeah, he just checks on d6,
yes.
and then checks on e6, and then the bishop
comes in,
penetrates onto the diagonal that Hikaru chooses. Here comes bishop b4 check, and it should be over.
Queen f7 check, or queen takes pawn, or queen f5. There's a mate here. Either way, there's not even pressure. White has a couple moves to set something up.
He decides to coordinate and protect the king.
Because there are almost no checks. Like, the king's going to comfortably walk to, like, c7. Okay, king f5. That's a good move.
Yeah, that is a good move. You create a scenario where you might win this e-pawn.
Win the e-pawn. Magnus could have gone for mate before. That's probably what the computer recommended.
Yeah, well, from a practical point of view, I guess Hikaru found his last chance because Magnus is under 10 seconds, living off the increment here. Finds a way to shield himself from checks, but Hikaru may have found his way into a chance for perpetual.
Where is the perpetual? Oh, now Magnus is very cozy there.
Yeah.
Bishop d6.
f7.
Oh, then queen h8.
Nice home for a king. Queen h8. Okay.
They're touching. Yeah, they're very close here. This is a weird position.
This is such a weird position, and this might be an unofficial stat of the. Wait, does he blunder?
He blundered.
He just blundered queen f8 check, trading queens. He's got a draw. He held.
You can't let the kings touch. And
never
that
let
pretty
the
much
kings
happened.
touch.
Never let the kings touch.
Swords don't cross, kings don't touch. Not here on the, not on this show today. But Eric, who gets the who